So if you're watching this video on X, great, good on you. If you're watching this video on YouTube, it was actually available a little earlier on X, so consider checking us out at Brand X Reviews.
Game face on when I chase like that, yeah, I play so strong with a knife in the back. I'ma swing home run like a baseball bat. Gonna see me rise, you can hate on that. I don't play both sides, doing me no cap. I'm a ride or die for my dreams on tap. I'ma fly real high, you ain't see me stack. No, it's not how you fall, it's how you get.
Hello and welcome to Brand X Reviews. So today I'm going to be talking about the recent announcement that is confirmed that Aaron Taylor-Johnson is going to play James Bond in the next movie, even though it's not confirmed and it's got barely any credibility to it at all.
Well, let's not start sucking each other's dicks quite yet.
But people are talking about this as if it's an established fact, and that's really disappointing because we've been here so many times before, especially as Bond fans. This kind of thing is nothing new to us. I mean, obviously, sometimes things can be in the planning stages and so on. For example, when Pierce Brosnan was supposed to be James Bond for The Living Daylights in 1987. Well, the film was released in 87. The full intention there was that he was going to be Bond. It was well known that that was going to be the case. They haven't fully announcing, they haven't done the press conference and everything as yet, but things happened. It didn't work out. So obviously there's always going to be that factor to things. But with this, I very, very highly doubt that what has been currently put out there, that the role has been offered to him. He just needs to put pen to paper and it's going to happen. Aaron Taylor-Johnson is going to be Bond. There's a number of reasons I'm very, very, very sceptical about this. For starters, it's come from a very dodgy source. I mean, come on, The Sun, seriously? That seems to be the main one that's been peddling this. I know others have kind of reported on it as well, but it does tend to trace back to something that came out from the Sun newspaper in the UK. Not exactly a home of truth and reliable information. In the UK, we've got a number of sort of tabloid-style newspapers, the Sun and the Daily Mirror. Those tend to be the ones. And I've been a James Bond fan for pretty much all of my adult life and a lot of my childhood as well. So going back to the 90s when Pierce Brosnan movies were coming out, similar to we have today, people follow the news and updates and so on. I used to follow that. Now, we didn't have the internet as much back then. We had it, but it wasn't quite what it is now. I used to collect newspaper clippings back in the day, and I've still got a lot of them, actually, funnily enough. This DVD box set that came out in 2006 with all the James Bond DVDs in. I got rid of the DVDs because they're kind of useless to me. But I use the case, and I've got an archive in here of lots of good stuff. And just as an example, I'm going to show you some old articles from back in the day. So this was from the Sunday People, which is like one of those, like the Daily Mirror, the Sun, all that kind of stuff in the UK. Now, sometimes they got things right. So this was from October 1998. So this was a year before The World Is Not Enough came out. You had articles like this where it was true, you know, they were looking for an actress to play a character of Christmas, which we all know was eventually was Denise Richards, and the movie was set in Turkey as well, as this is at least part of it was. So things like that were true, but there was all sorts of other stuff that at the time, I mean, whether or not they were interviewing and so on, it was the way they were reporting it. That's the thing. I'm not saying it's completely untrue about Aaron Taylor-Johnson, that they've not done a screen test or anything like that. I'm pretty sure that is. I think that is actually the case. I think that's been acknowledged to be the case. That was well over a year ago, from what I understand. It was said back in '98 that Sharon Stone was very close to being the part of Electra King in The World Is Not Enough. I don't know how close to being true that was. I mean, she might have interviewed. I don't know. My Bond history isn't that complete, but ultimately she wasn't in the film. But that's not really the point anyway. They were writing things like this. This was in September of '98. So this was like a good 14 months before the film came out. And this was the Sunday Mirror. They were reporting that Ewan McGregor was going to be in the film, and pretty much that it was a done deal. I mean, you can always pause this if I can get in focus and read the article for yourself, but they used terms like where was it now, that they were basically, the scripts have been finalised and the blockbuster and work on 4 sets has begun. and they were saying that Ewan McGregor was going to play James Bond's son in the movie. When they say scripts have been finalised, in that context, when they're reporting that, they're saying as fact he's going to be in the film. We know that wasn't true. That was the 1999 film World Is Not Enough. So when they're saying things like this, where again they said, he's going to be signing the contract within the next few days, very much doubt it. It seems like more of that kind of shite that they're putting out there just to sell newspapers and so on. And I think it goes a bit deeper than that, but I'll get into what I mean by that towards the end of this video. Just made a few notes here as well, because one other point as well as to reason why I'm a bit skeptical about this, wasn't that long ago that Barbara Broccoli of Eon Productions was saying there's not anything happening with this at the moment. I think they would say, to be honest, that if there was anything in the go, they would want the buzz to be starting early. They want the hype machine going, They wouldn't just say, like, no, I mean, it's a buzz killer, is that when they say that there's nothing? That really just flattens everyone's hope that they're going to see a Bond film in the next few years. I personally don't think that we will. And I'm hoping that we don't as well, for reasons, again, which I'll get to further down this. But what I was saying about beyond just newspapers trying to sell newspapers and clicks online and so on for the Sun that were reporting this. You've got to remember the James Bond movies are partly Sony, and of course I know Amazon have obviously got a big deal with it now, but Sony Pictures putting out Craven the Hunter, from what I understand as well. So Craven the Hunter stars Aaron Taylor-Johnson. So if they're wanting buzz from just the name, there's some connectivity there. I mean, like I said, I don't know quite exactly where they all connect up, but Sony, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Craven the Hunter, which looks crap and is due to lose loads of money if a lot of the predictions about where that franchise is going with the Sony movies and Spider-Man and that god-awful one with Jay Leto, I can't remember what it was called now, Morbius. Ties in with all that kind of stuff. They're going to be wanting as much, positive exposure for that movie as they can, and if they can connect the main star in that film to the James Bond franchise as a possible new James Bond, they're going to try all these little tricks. So that's one of my theories, anyway. So my final thought on this is, I don't think we're going to see a James Bond film anytime any soon. Hopefully we don't. I would suggest, if it was me, I would leave it a good decade for the next Bond film, because of the state of entertainment at the moment on a number of levels. I'm one for obviously making a point of this, but movies nowadays just constantly pushing
the message.
And that's something that has kind of just wiped out a lot of movie franchises for a lot of people, myself included. Marvel movies, no go. Star Wars movies, no go. Terminator movies, no go. Not just because they're crap, but because they're infected with this woke mind virus. So I think a big part of this is we need to stop paying for these movies, not as in pirate them instead, but we need to just stop watching them. We need to stop posting online about them. Just walk away, basically, because these movies, they're going to keep making them as long as they're making money, and they're not making money. And I think as well, they've been relying on a lot of this ESG funding to make up for the losses. But from what I understand, this ESG special honeypot of funds is going to dry up when it's not making returns. And that whole thing just isn't going to be there to allow these studios to basically write off their losses. So it's going to start hurting them. So we need to just stop watching these movies, stop falling for tricks like this, where they put announcements out there that aren't actually announcements at all. It's just rumours. It's just false rumours and so on. Like I say, I would like to see Aaron Taylor-Johnson as Bond, to be honest. He's a pretty good actor. He looks the part. He's a good actor in a sense of he's got the charm, the kind of physicality, all that kind of stuff. Do I think it will happen? It very well could. But I'm just saying, at this point in time, the way this has been reported, the information that's come out in the last couple of days that people are running with as if it's an established fact, I not just take it with a massive pinch of salt, I would say it's bullshit. So there you go. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I rambled on a little bit, but this is kind of another video in a series of videos where I've been doing rumour control for this kind of thing. So right, well, I will leave it there. Thank you very much for watching.